Welcome to King's Garage. This is an M100 military trailer that would have been pulled behind an M38 during Korea War era for military vehicles. If you want to know how to use these and what to look for, keep watching. So this is an M100 trailer that would have been pulled behind M38s during Korea War. In fact, my grandfather drove an M38 and pulled one of these trailers. They weigh about 500 pounds, and they are supposed to float like a boat 500 pounds. This one, not gonna float. It's got rust. It's very pitted, and I actually bought it from a military collector who had a really nice one, and he told me this one was not savable. I guess it had too much work to do on it. I don't know. It doesn't seem that bad to me. But at any rate, that's a little walk around. These are the original wheels and tires I bought it with. They're mismatched. Wheels and tires. If you look at this wheel, it is riveted, where this one is welded. I think that's actually a combat rim, and I think this is actually a CJ rim. And then the tires are different. This is a Goodyear NDT, and this is an Alliance, and I think this is still considered an NDT. The wheels and tires are now 31-inch BF Goodrich all-terrain TA KO2s. They were used takeoffs from my Cherokee, the two best ones. And then I bought Rough Country D-hole wheels for it. And I think they look fantastic. Let's get down below it. You can see it's spring under, and believe it or not, it does have drum brakes on it. It's got the military shackles. You can see the C shape, but there's also, it's got the bar on the other side. Same over here. All greasable. You can see some of the wiring I redid many years ago, and you can see it's a lot of surface rust, but that's not too terrible. The drums are the same drums that would have been on an M38 or a CJ3A. You can see that there's a pintle. And it's got a big spring back here, also greasable. And that's to allow it to twist and also give you a little cushion action. This is actually the handle for the brakes. It's a parking brake. I've still got the landing leg, but the plug is gone, so I just jam a bolt in there. The safety chains, I had to, there was none there, so I bought some. I put a 4-plug flat on it, and you can see it needs to be replaced, which I actually have. This would have been the original plug. There would be a box. This is half the box It would have been a box right here, and they'd keep the cable to plug from there into the back of the Jeep. You can see it's got the handles, it's got the loops for the canvas inside. That's not as much rust as it looks. It's actually a lot of red primer. So I've had this Jeep trailer for 15 or 16 years. I'm not 100% sure how long I've had it, but literally when I bought it, I rewired it. And somebody had already had some janky kind of wiring in it, so I pulled all that out. I brought fresh wire, rewired it myself, and it worked great until I broke that plug off. So I actually just bought a new pigtail to wire in there. You can also see the front, also greasable here, sorry. Also greasable. Here's the data plate. You really can't read much of it, and I'm worried to like rub on it too much. But you can see it was built in February of 1951. Here's another plaque. Again, not very readable, but it does say ordnance carrying. And then this plaque, I can't tell. I think they're brass, so I might try and use Brasso on them. But it has all three data plaques. As far as I know, the only thing that it's really missing is the other bracket and the box, which honestly, it would get in the way of my swing out. If I could do something, I would extend this maybe like 6 inches. That would help me. As my spare tire carrier on my Wrangler, which is primarily what I pull this with, hits the back wall there, depending on the angle. To get this legal in the state of Illinois, literally I just had to plate it. Other states, I'm sure you have to have some kind of inspection for the lighting and whatnot. Now, it does all work, and it does have the original military reflectors. There is no light on the plate. I may change that eventually, and you can see that like somebody just ran screws through it, so it's not very straight. So when I actually do some refurb work on this, I might change that. And then I did discuss the safety chains. Eventually I might buy new safety chains, and I definitely want to get a landing leg plug for this. So what's left to do on it? Well, I actually think I'm going to stand it up back here, stand the trailer up on the back, so that I'm going to have to be careful with the handles and especially this loop. I'll figure out a way. I want to stand it up, and then I am going to sand and prime and paint and possibly bed line the underside. I'm going to rebuild the brakes and probably replace all the bearings and everything. They've been checked. The brakes have never worked right on this since I bought it, but I've never really needed it. But I should repack the bearings, so I'll probably buy all new bearings and races. And then on the outside, and you can see in some of the seams, there is a little rust. And I know you can't see it, but there are some pinholes in some of this. I haven't decided if I'm worried about the pinholes or not. But if I am, I'm not too worried about the dents. But you can see like there's a lot of pitting over here. In fact, some of those little pits have holes you can see through. So obviously that's part of the reason that this trailer is not, he would not have saved it. But I might take some metal to metal and like try and cover up some of the pinholes in it. Metal to metal is a type of body filler that has metal fibers in it. I may not do that though, but I do think I'm going to, I think they use like household caulk. So I'm gonna scuff this all down, use some seam sealer, and then I think I'm gonna bed line the inside of it and the underside. And then the outside, I haven't decided what color, but I'm thinking in some kind of military green. I don't know which, maybe the color that the Army used, so that, you know, it looks cool on the outside. And I'll probably redo the stars. I'll buy those stencils. And back here where it says USA 7250, which I believe is the original, instead of having this star, I'm gonna put the MASH logo, USA, and I'm gonna put 4077. I mean, I'm Gen X, man. I watch that show religiously. I also think that I'm gonna redo the lights and switch them over to LEDs. Like they're pretty dim because of the style they are. And I've been looking for screws to, you know, this one has all the screws. This one doesn't. But I know that one is not the original. I don't know which one is. That one's a Guide brand, and this one is Arco. So there's a lot of pieces that have been swapped around on this thing. I'm not concerned about restoring it to original. I want to make it good and functional for me. I've hauled thousands of pounds of mulch in this thing. Car parts, you name it. I've even put a tarp in here and sat in it in full of water. But as you can see, the floor is not original. The floor would have ribs and actual provisions for the drain plugs. There kinda is, but just freshen up all the mechanicals, the electrical, and more like preserve it. And I think if I bedline the inside, that might actually really help with the pinholes. So I think that's the way to go. I think the underside I'm gonna paint, then maybe bedline that too. And the outside, I don't know. I played with the idea of maybe adding UV LED under it and painting the axle tube and the suspension, maybe even the brake backing plates, and some type of UV reactive light, just for fun. And maybe adding license plate lights too would not be a terrible idea. But I think that would be fun because I could actually just run it around the edge of the frame, just inside the actual frame rail. I think it'll go well. So if you're thinking about getting a military style trailer to pull with your vehicle, whether it be a 4Runner or a Jeep or what have you, leave a comment if you have questions. I'll do my best. I'm no expert, but I have done some research. This is not the only style of these trailers. If it had a tailgate, it's either been modified or it's a Bantam civilian trailer. There's also a World War II era trailer. I think it's called a TCB. Might be wrong on that, but there is a World War II variant, and there's a Vietnam era variant called an M416, which has trapezoidal shaped wheel wells. The handle for the brake is different. I don't know that it has a pintle hitch. I think that's it. I mean, there's bigger ones behind Humvees. I think they're also called an M100, which is weird. I guess they reuse that. Maybe it's like an M100A1, which means that they tripled the size. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, you want to see more of this trailer, if you have questions, leave a comment, leave a like. If you don't like it, hit like 3 times. That'll really show me. Like and subscribe. And thank you for watching King's Garage.